welcome back, guys. We're going to continue on with the body of this hat. As you can see here, we've already done all of the increase rows that we need for the crown. So what happens is that if you take this and fold it in half like this, you're going to see that it matches the top of this one over here. Okay, so you've got this part done of the hat. Okay, now what we're going to do is continue working the rows here, and the very first rows that we have to create, I've written down the instructions here so we can read. Now this is just a free, pattern for a free tutorial. It's not a big deal. I just wrote it down here so you guys can learn how to use patterns. Now obviously, if you bought a pattern or found a pattern for free online, it's not going to look anything like this. This is a rough draft. This is handwritten. This is not what you're going to get. However, I am going to teach you how to read what's written on the patterns, okay? So row 1 usually will either say RW or it'll say row, ROW, and then 1. And then it will give you your instructions here. First thing I'm going to let you know too is when you work in the round, you can either work continuously in the round this way, or you can work the row, come back, do your slip stitch, and then turn your work and then work the other direction and slip stitch. You can do that if you want to, but in this particular pattern, we're not going to do that. We will be working in the round, not turning our work. Okay, so in row 1, we're going to chain 2. CH means chain, and then 2. We're going to chain 2. Then we're going to single crochet around the entire thing for 2 rows. So that means that we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to single crochet. Now we're not going to do anything with the space in here. All right. Okay, so the reason I'm doing 2 chains here is because I want that little bit of extra height. When we finish this area and we come back around here, I want to be able to see where I started so I know exactly where to make my slip stitch. So I've decided to go ahead and put 2 here. It's not going to really change the size of the hat or how it works or anything like that. But now that we have our chain 2, we're going to go ahead and single crochet. Now, if you don't know how to single crochet, make sure that you go to the first video. I believe it's the second video in the series that I have created that shows you how to make the single crochet stitch. And go ahead and go there, learn that first, and then come back here and we can get started. All right, so we're going to single crochet into every single space all the way around, starting with this post here. All right, and then single crocheting all the way around. And this is what it looks like for people that hold their hook like a pen or pencil. And then for those that enjoy the knife hold, this is what that looks like. And I'll be switching off back and forth pen hold to knife hold as we go through this whole thing. And I'm going to show you also, I have my size H hook here with the ergonomic. This is perfect for the knife hold. So if you're a knife kind of person, these are great. All right. My preferred way of holding is the pen hold though. That's how I learned to crochet from my grandmother when I was 10. So yeah, just a little background on me. My name is Amanda, and I have been crocheting since I was 10. I'm going to be 44 this year, a couple months, and I've been crocheting all that time. My grandparents raised me for about 9 years of my life, and when I first moved in with them, my grandmother was making all kinds of crocheted and knitted items, and I just took an interest in it, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said, well, sit down and I'll show you. So she did, and for some reason my little creative mind just picked it up and I just have been doing it ever since. I love it. It's very, very stress relieving for me, and I have anxiety, so this is kind of the perfect thing to sort of immerse myself in so that I can not think about things that are agitating me in the moment. And it really does keep me calm. Crocheting and knitting is actually very, very good for people that are anxiety ridden, people that have depression, things like that. This kind of thing gives you purpose, and it gives us something to do with our hands that allows us to create something that makes us proud and gives us confidence and things like that. So yeah, it's really a wonderful thing to start doing. If you know anybody who wants to learn how to crochet or even knit, because I'm going to add knitting tutorials to this channel as well. But if you know anybody that wants to learn, send them here. All right, so we're at the very end. See what I mean about the height? I wanted that extra height so you could tell the difference, because now it's at the same height as this one here, and now I know, oh, that's where I started. Now I can connect it together. So what I'm going to do is find okay, this post here is not the post I want. It's the post next to it. All right. So what you want to do, and you can go ahead and just connect between the posts. That's fine. If that's easier for you, that's not a problem. So we just made a slip stitch, and now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do this all over again. We're going to single crochet in every single crochet around, just like this. Now when you finish your single crochets and get to the end, I'll meet you over here, okay? Okay, so that we're at the very last one, you're going to make that final single crochet and then connect again here. Find that secondary post here and go in between the chain and the post and make your slip stitch here. Okay, now I want to show you, so far your hat is starting to turn. The reason it's turning now, okay, and it's starting to make this dome shape, is because we stopped increasing. If we continued to increase, it would just get bigger and bigger and wider and bigger, and it would just continue to grow. In this situation, when you stop your decreases, you're now working with only the same amount of stitches. So as you're doing that in the round, okay, we're only making 60 stitches now for the rest of the hat. So what's going to happen is it's just going to start to fold itself in, and it's going to create this dome, and then eventually you're going to have this. So now what we've done is we've finished these 2 single crochet rows here. All right. If you look at what we have here and you fold this in half and put it on top of this, like this, you're going to see that we now are this far into the hat. So it does not take a long time to make something like this. This actually can go very, very quickly. The only reason it's taking this long is because if this is a teaching video, this hat can be done in less than an hour. It just doesn't take that long. Okay, moving forward. All right, so we've done we're going to say rows 1 and 2. The way that I wrote this is crazy because I have here for 2 rows, so this should actually be row 3. So I do apologize for that. Anyway, let me change it here so that it makes some sense. All right. Now that it's super messy. Okay. Continuing. What we want to do next is round 3. We're going to make our V-stitches. Now you say, whoa, hang on a second. What's a V-stitch? A V-stitch is, you've already made them. When you made your increases, your 2 double crochets in the 1 space, that is a V-stitch. Okay, so you've already done it. You already know what to do. What we're going to do is make V-stitches around. Now, because a V-stitch is also an increase, we have to do something specific. So what we have to do is, well, first of all, we need to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to make a double crochet right in that same space. Remember how we did that when we increased? We're going to do the same thing. But now, because we don't want to increase, we have to skip this space. So we have to skip the spaces between the V-stitches, okay? That allows us to have exactly 60. So make another V-stitch here. and then skip this space. Make another V-stitch in the next one. Okay, just like this, and that's what that looks like. So on the pattern, we have V-stitches. Okay, V-stitch, skip one space, V-stitch, and then we're going to end with a V-stitch and a slip stitch. Okay, so we're going to work all the way over to the other side. Make your V-stitches. Make sure you're skipping in between. I'll do a few more here with you. V-stitch, skip, V-stitch in the next, skip this one, V-stitch the next. Now do this all the way around, and I will meet you back at the last two, probably the last 2 or 3 spots, okay? Okay, you guys. So what we have here is 3 spaces. We have this one, and this one. We need to use the middle space because we're going to make a V-stitch here. Okay. And we're going to skip over this space right here, and we're going to go in between the V-stitch over on this side and slip stitch. And now you've connected. So what you've done now is you've created this very first row here. All right, see the V's? We're working upside down. So you're going to see your V's here. Okay, and you'll notice the next row up is more V's. And that is because in the pattern it says in row 4, we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to V-stitch inside of each V-stitch around. So that means once we make our chain of 3, which we will do now, 1, 2, 3, and because you're already slip stitched inside of this V, this is going to make this so much easier. Make another double crochet right inside there. Now you have a V inside of a V, and I know it kind of looks like it's blocky. It doesn't look like a V. It will in a bit. And then you are going to make another 2 double crochets inside the V. So between the posts, not in the top up here. You want to be in between the 2 posts like this. So make 2 double crochets there. Let me check my camera here. I think I'm a little off focus. That's better. Every now and again I'm going to have to readjust this, so please bear with me. Okay, so 2 double crochets in each V stitch around between the posts. Make sure you're between the posts. It's very important. That's how you're going to get the look that we are after. All right, go ahead and make your V's inside your V's to the other side, and I'll meet you before we do a slip stitch. All right, so here we are at the end, and we have to make 1 more V-stitch inside that V below, and then we are going to make a slip stitch inside the V here, okay, and just connect it. Now you have this row. Now in round 5 we are going to chain 2, and then we're going to do a row of single crochets like we did before, and we're going to make those single crochets inside the tops of each post. So we're going to do that for rows 5 and 6, okay? And then this is going to be the basic pattern for this particular project. It's just going to be 2 rows of single crochets, 2 rows of V's, 2 rows of single crochets, 2 rows of V's, and that's basically what we're going to do. So chain 2, 1, 2, and then we are going to be making single crochets in the tops of every single post. Now only inside the posts, okay? So there's a first single crochet inside that post, and then inside this post. Single crochet in this post and this post. So both legs of the V, we want to make a single crochet in each one. All right. So just keep making your single crochets in the top of each leg of each V post, and when you get done with that, I will meet you on the other side where we did our little chain 2. I'll meet you over there. All right, so now we're at the end. Make sure that you find this post here and then go in between, so you've got that space between the 2 posts, and make your slip stitch. All right, so I'm going to have you do the next round by yourself. The next round is just another row of single crochets. Remember to chain 2 and then make your first single crochet in the next space and then single crochet around, and I will see you at the end. All right, so here we are at the last stitch. Go ahead and make your single crochet in there, and then between these 2 posts right here, go ahead and make your slip stitch. All right. So let's compare the hat that I have made and the work that we are doing together. So what we've done so far is the top of the hat here for the crown, which is all of our all of our increase rows. And then here we have the single crochet rows here, the 2 of those, and then we have the 2 where we have the V stitches, and then 2 rows of single crochets again. So what we need to do, after we did that second row of single crochets, we're going to go down and do 2 more rows of V's. Now if you want to, you guys can always go back to that part of the video where I was teaching the V-stitch, or we can work on it together. I'm going to do a couple on the next row, and then you can follow along, and then I'm just going to have you guys do it on your own anyway. So let's do that part. So to make the V-stitch again, you chain 3. Now what you're going to do is, in the same space right here where this chain 3 is coming from, right here, you're going to make your double crochet, which is going to bring the 2 legs of the V together. You're not going to work in the second space over. You're not going to this side. You're going to work right in that same space, because this right here is going to be the last stitch of the row. It's going to keep it a little more flush for you. So every single time that you start a new V row on top of a single crochet row, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to start the V in the very top of the same space that your chain 3 is coming out of, and then that way you're going to keep it flush. All right, now you're going to skip 1 and you're going to make 2 double crochets, and then skip 1 and make 2 double crochets. When I say skip 1, that means skip 1 space. Get some yarn here. All right. And then you're just going to keep skipping a space and go to the next space to make your double crochets. And I want you to do this all the way to the end, and when we get to the last stitch, I will meet up with you. All right, so now we're at the end of the row, except for this very last V. Now, if you've been diligent to make sure that you're only skipping 1 space between the V's on all of them, you are going to wind up with 3 spaces left, which means you have 1 in the center, which is where you're going to put your next V-stitch. And that is what you're going to do right here, and then you're going to make your slip stitch inside of that V right there. And now, because you slip stitched inside that V, you're going to go ahead and chain 3. This leg of your V-stitch is now inside the V where we're going to be working. So make your other double crochet right in there, and then continue making 2 double crochets inside of each V. And do that, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, so here we are at the end. We're going to go ahead and make that last V-stitch. Now from here on out, hold on, let's get this made, and then let's slip stitch inside the V here. Okay, get that finished. Now what I'm going to tell you is this. I'm not going to walk you through any more of the hat because we've already gone over all of it. So what I'm going to have you do is go back to the beginning of this video, and about a minute and a half or so into the video, it's going to start talking about how to do the single crochet. So you're going to actually start the body of the hat. So at the start of the body of the hat, you're starting at the single crochet rows again. So go ahead and go back about 1.5 minutes into the beginning of this video, and you can go ahead and finish this off. And what you're going to do is right here, let me see if I can find it here. I can't see it. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to do another 2 rows of single and another 2 rows of V. Go ahead and do those 4 rows on your own, and then come back for video number 3, and I'm going to show you how to do the brim of this hat.